Shock Horror. Shock Horror is a mini-album and the first release by new wave band Katrina and the Waves, released in 1983 by Aftermath Records. The album was originally credited to the Waves and released only in the UK, later reissued for the first time on CD by US label CGB in 2010. The album was recorded by the band that became Katrina and the Waves, but prior to Katrina Leskanich's becoming the band's sole lead vocalist. Shock Horror is notable for including the first recording of Going Down to Liverpool, which was later recorded by the band with Leskanich on lead vocals and covered by the Bangles. Background: the Waves were originally a band that guitarist Kimberly Rowe and drummer Alex Cooper started in 1975 in Cambridge, England. The band made a few recordings, but nothing was released at the time. 4 tracks recorded in 1976 were later added as bonus tracks. This early version of the Waves disbanded when Rowe joined the Soft Boys in 1977. Cooper had joined Mama's Cookin' in 1979, a pop/soul cover band that featured singer Katrina Leskanich, guitarist Vince de la Cruz, and bassist Bob Jackins. After the breakup of the Soft Boys in 1981, Rowe reconnected with Cooper, who convinced Rowe to join Mama's Cookin', which was soon renamed The Waves. Rowe brought original material to the band, which he sang himself during the band's first year. Leskanich only sang lead on the Waves' repertoire of covers, but gradually Rowe began writing songs specifically for her to sing, and by the time of their first full-length album, 1983's Walking on Sunshine, Leskanich was the band's main vocalist. In 1981-1982, the Waves did a number of recording sessions, which resulted in the 1982 singles The Nightmare and Brown Eyed Sun, released by Armageddon and Albion Records, respectively. Along with its B-side, Hey Warpig, The Nightmare was included later the same year on Rowe's solo album The Bible of Bop. Brown Eyed Sun and most of the remainder of the sessions were released as Shock Horror on the Aftermath label. The sessions took place while the Waves lineup was in transition, and only 2 songs on Shock Horror feature original bassist Bob Jackins, who left the band between the 2 single releases. Guitarist Vince de la Cruz subsequently took on bass duties. Released only in England, Shock Horror contains the first recorded version of Going Down to Liverpool, which was re-recorded for the first Katrina and the Waves album, Walking on Sunshine, and then re-recorded again for their Capitol Records debut in 1985, this time with Leskanich on lead vocals. Brown Eyed Sun would also be re-recorded for Walking on Sunshine. Critical reception: Mark Deeming, writing for AllMusic, wrote that Shock Horror captures the Waves as they were still knocking their sound into shape. Deeming concluded that Shock Horror sounds a long way from the work of a group that would become an international hitmaker, but the band obviously had talent and promise, and a stronger command of the studio would come with time. Trouser Press singled out the track Strolling on Air, calling it an especially rich find. They noted, the other tunes except for an MC5-ish raver, atomic rock and roll are typically engaging but not particularly well recorded, interesting, and certainly no embarrassment. Track listing: all tracks are written by Kimberly Rowe. Personnel. Adapted from the 2010 reissue liner notes. The Waves' Kimberly Rowe lead vocals 1 minute 6, lead guitar. Katrina Leskanich lead vocals 7/8, co-lead vocals 5/6, rhythm guitar 1, 4 minutes 8, backing vocals 2/3. Vince de la Cruz bass 1, 4 minutes 8, rhythm guitar 2/3. Alex Cooper drums. Bob Jackins bass 2/3, technical Richard Bishop producer 1, 4 minutes 8. Pat Collier producer 2/3, engineer 2/3. Nick Cook engineer 1, 4 minutes 8. Bonus tracks: Kimberly Rowe guitar, Alex Cooper drums, Rob Kelly lead vocals, bass, Gary Lucas engineer. Mike Kemp Engineer. Recording information. Silo Studios, London, 1982 tracks. Going down to Liverpool, I caught the milk train, she took the Duke's Chevaux. Brown-eyed son, you can't stand next to Judy. Atomic rock and roll. Saturday week, she loves to groove was also recorded at the session and used as B-side to the Brown-eyed son single. It was included. Alaska Studios, London, 1981 tracks. Strolling on Air, Riding My Bike, I'm Amazed and Give Me Some of That Love were also recorded at the session and later included as bonus tracks on the 2010 reissue of The Bible of Ba. Spaceward Studios, Cambridge, 1976 tracks. Emerald, The Ship, My Friend Consuelo, My Love's an Actress. All 4 bonus tracks are previously unreleased. References equals